Good morning, Hillcrest Elementary. I'm Miss Buchanan, and I'm coming to you from my favorite corner in my house today where I can sit and read and look out the window and see the pretty bushes all changing to green, and I can see over the bushes to the mountains, and it's just a beautiful spot to sit and read. So I wanted to read to you this morning. Yesterday I was sitting outside and I noticed how the weather was warmer. Well, not today, but yesterday. The weather was a little warmer and the sun was just beautiful, had a nice breeze. It was still a little cool, but noticeably a little warmer too. And the bees were flying all around me. And the animals were all outside. The dogs were barking. And I also could hear lawnmowers. And as I took my walk yesterday, I saw the grass growing. So there's so many signs of spring right now. And I'm excited for spring. I hate that we don't get to share it together, but I do look forward to that day when we can be back together again. So today what I want to do is I want to read to you a book about spring, and it's called The Thing About Spring, and it's written by Daniel Kirk. And then at the end we're going to do a lesson, and actually I have some lessons planned for several days for you. So let's go ahead and read our story. "The world looks a little different today," Mouse said one bright morning. "It smells different too," said Bird. "There are buds on the trees and new colors in the sky, and I feel warm and happy." "Me too," said Mouse. "Spring is finally here. Hooray!" Mouse and Bird hurried to share the good news with their friends. Rabbit was in the meadow, busy with a shovel and pail. "What are you doing, Rabbit?" Mouse called. "Saving snow while I still can," Rabbit grumbled. "We won't see any more of this until next year." "But spring is coming," Bird chirped. "Aren't you excited?" "Excited?" said Rabbit. "Ha! The thing about spring is that I won't be able to follow my friends' tracks in the snow. Then I won't be able to find them." "But now you won't be cold," said Bird, "and you won't have to look for me. I'll be right here beside you." "Me too," said Mouse. "The thing about spring," said Rabbit, "is that I won't be able to make snow bunnies anymore. I won't be able to build snow forts either. You know how much fun I have doing that. And I won't be able to make snowballs to throw at any of my favorite targets." "But little shoots will grow out of the ground," Moose said. Mouse said, "so you won't have to look far to find delicious things to eat." "The thing about spring," said Rabbit, "is that Bear is waking up. You know how bad he smells at the end of a long winter, and I'm sure he's going to want a hug." "Oh, Rabbit," said Bear with a yawn, "just because I'm a little stinky doesn't mean we can't share a big hug." "I want a hug too," said Bird. "Me 3, said Mouse. "The thing about spring," said Rabbit, "is that it rains when you're not expecting it." "But rain brings the flowers," said Mouse. "And the worms," said Bird. "And it makes you clean," said Bear, "and ready for more hugs." "The thing about spring," said Rabbit, "is that when the days get longer, the nights get shorter, and I am a cranky bunny when I don't get enough sleep." "But in the spring we need more daytime because there are so many things to do," said Bird. "In In the spring, I love to make loop-de-loops and race the clouds through the sky, said Bird. In the spring, I love to nibble tasty buds and dig tunnels in the soft pine needles, said Mouse. In the spring, I love to splash in the lakes and dance in the sun, said Bear. Spring is wonderful. The thing about spring, said Rabbit, is that all the animals chatter on, and the racket hurts my ears. I'll try to be more quiet, whispered Bird. Me too, whispered Mouse. Me three, whispered Bear. But it's hard not to make a little noise. When spring is here! All right, Rabbit sighed. I suppose no one can stop the seasons from changing. But the thing about spring is that when I stomp around so much and the sun is so warm, it makes me really thirsty. Me too, said Bear. I think we're all a little thirsty. Well then, said Rabbit, you should be glad I saved some snow. Look inside my pail. The thing about spring is that it's full of surprises. It's wonderful, Bird chirped. Now that spring is here, the snow is turned to water. It's like the winter gave us a present before it went away, said Mouse. I found some cups, Rabbit said. Dip in. It will be our last taste of winter. And our first sip of spring, said Bird. Here's to spring, said Bear. I think it's going to be great. Me too, said Bird. Me three, said Mouse. The friends looked at Rabbit. Oh, all right, he said. Me four. Spring is here. Hooray! The end. I hope you enjoyed our story, The Thing About Spring. So now I want us to do a couple of things, and then what we'll do each day, we'll do something different. So what I want us to do first is I want us to discuss some of the key ideas and the details of this text. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask some questions. And what I would like for you to do after each question, if you can hit pause and just think about it and discuss it a little bit, and then I'll give you some answers and we can talk about it. So the first one I want us to think about is, what is our story about? I hope you stopped and you thought about it. And our story is just about spring coming, and they're getting excited about spring. So who are the characters in our story? We had 4 characters in our story. We had Rabbit, Bird, Mouse, and Bear. So who was the main character in our story? This story was mostly about Rabbit. So Rabbit was our main character in our story. And let's think about the setting. Where did our story take place? Our story was outside, where the animals live. So think about what happened in the beginning of our story. Rabbit was sad because spring was coming and he wasn't going to get to play in the snow, and his friends reminded him that there were so many good things about spring. Then in the middle of the story, Rabbit is sad because spring is coming, and that means it's going to rain and the nights are going to be shorter. but his friends reminded him of all the good things about spring. So let's think about another question. Did Rabbit like or dislike spring? What are some of the details we can remember from our text? Pause the video and think about it. Rabbit disliked spring because he wouldn't be able to see his friends' tracks in the snow or make snowballs. Then it rained unexpectedly and the nights got short. So, another question, did his friends like or dislike spring? And what details do you remember from the text? The friends like spring because shoots start to grow, Bear wakes up, and they were excited because everything was changing. The days got longer, and the rain cleaned up everything. So how did the story end? The friends helped Rabbit see that spring is full of surprises, and they all drank the present from spring. Do you remember what the present was? It was the water. How does the setting change over time? As the story goes on, the snow melts more and more until it's almost gone and the sun is out shining. So, last question. What is the lesson in this story teaching you? Pause the video, think about it for a minute, answer, and then unpause. The story is trying to teach us to look at the positive, the good things, instead of the negative, those bad things, when change happens. And that's a good story for us because right now we're going through a change. We're going from a change of things being normal, being in school, having your classes and seeing your friends and just kind of getting to do whatever you want. But now we're kind of in a position where we're all trying to stay healthy. So we're home, we're doing lessons from home, and we aren't able to see each other. And so things are changing. But we can stay positive. We don't want to get down. We don't want to say bad things about it. So let's just make the best of it. Let's be happy. I'm so glad I can come to you this way at least. And I want you to remember that even though we're not together, I love you so much and I miss you terribly. And when we can get back together, we're just going to hug and hug and hug, kind of like they did with Bear. So we'll be excited, we'll be hugging, and we'll stay positive. So I want you to do one more thing for me. I have a graphic organizer that we want to write down to some key phrases about spring. And I can't give you the paper like I would do if we were in class. So what I want you to do, I want you to look at mine, the thing about spring, and I want you to pause the video for a minute, go get you a piece of paper, and I want you to write what I have on mine. So go get your paper and pause the video. I'll be right here when you get back. And what I'm going to do today, I'm going to go ahead and get you started on your graphic organizer. But then I want you to finish it. And if you can, send me some pictures. Just take a picture and post it in the comments and let me see what you filled out. So the thing about spring. So as we think about spring, we notice some things that are happening outside. One of the things that they noticed, and we didn't see a whole lot of, but the snow starts to melt. So I'm going to go ahead and write that one on my paper. And I want you to add that one to yours. The snow starts to melt, and then I want you to write more things. It doesn't have to be things in the story. It can be things that you actually see. Some things like what I said that I saw yesterday when I was sitting outside. So go ahead, complete your graphic organizer, take some pictures, put it in the comments, and then what I will do is I have more lessons. I have 3 more lessons for this story. Is later in the week or next week, I'm going to post in the comments some more lessons, or actually I'll probably just do another video, and then you can refer back to the story if you need to. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have a great weekend. Happy Easter to you. Wishing you many Easter blessings. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. I love you so much and I miss you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.